Keith, thanks for talking to us. Let's start with fans returning to football, shall we? Just how much does that mean to you and the players?
It means a lot. You're representing the community. You're representing I suppose, the backbone of the football club. The supporters often save a football club. Throughout the years, historically, supporters, fans, they have saved football clubs, and we're just really pleased. I think the football world wants supporters to, see the game of football again, a sport that they love. And from a player perspective, they want the 12th man. They want to, show their own supporters how good they are, and it's just that feeling. And we've been brought up in an environment where, as a football player, supporters are a key component to any competitive game. So we're really pleased for them to be reintroduced to the stadium, and we're excited to, put on a winning display, on Saturday against Walsall.
What have you noticed? What have you observed about how the games have gone when there's no fans in the stadium?
You can certainly hear the players. You can get your message onto the pitch clearer. I don't know from a psychological point of view how it's affected the players. Obviously, from Saturday onwards, fans are allowed back in the stadium, and I just hope the players can deal with the psychology of having supporters in the stadium, because I know the supporters have missed being in the stadium, and it'll just be different again, but it'll be better. And like I said, we're looking forward to it. But the players are experienced, and it's like anything. These players, they want to show how good they are. They want to show, the capabilities, and they want that reward from the supporters, whether it's applause, and like I said, there's an excitement for the supporters to be allowed back in the stadium.
And you will be seeing the Tranmere fans for the first time as their manager. What have you made from previous visits to Prenton Park when the fans have been here?
Well, they're very loud. They support the side. What I've witnessed since I've been in and around the area, on the training ground, in and around the stadium, the people in the area are superb, very warm, welcoming, and I found that really refreshing. So I'm excited for the supporters to be allowed back in the stadium. But from my perspective, I've had great support already at the football club.
And they're coming to see a winning team and the most informed team in League Two. What has pleased you particularly, Keith, going back to Tuesday night and so far since you've been manager here, in terms of the players and their attitude on the pitch?
Quick learners, they want to listen. There's no closed book saying, no, we can't do it that way. So we come up with the right methods, formulas, if you like, whether it's tactics, but we understand the players' strengths and weaknesses, and vice versa. The players have taken on information really well, and they've taken it on into the performances. And the atmosphere on the training pitch is a good one. It's a learning one, the environment. And, there's no complacency, because complacency, it is, blind confidence, that we've got to make sure that we don't fall into that trap, because they're a good group, they're very grounded, and they're eager and ambitious to win more games.
And James Vaughan up front, 8 goals for him in League Two, and he's been at obviously clubs where sometimes he's struggled to find his form. But what do you think is clicking for him right now at Tranmere?
The environment, the way he's being asked to play. I don't think that you can recruit James Vaughan without, knowing what type of player he is. You can't just put him into the brackets of goal scorer. You've got to know why he scores goals, where he scores goals, how he scores goals, certain movements, patterns of play. So it's important that he fits into a style that suits James Vaughan, and I think he's got that at this moment in time. You know, I think it's lazy recruitment if you say, well, James Vaughan's a goal scorer. He's more than a goal scorer. You know, and I think you've got to find out how he scores goals and, you know, make sure that he's supported with that.
And one thing I noticed about the side at Oldham was your bench, and from a manager's point of view, to have a bench as strong as that must be fantastic to turn around and see so many options to be able to bring on.
Well, I think it makes more of an impact on the opponents. You know, the team sheet, not just the starting 11, but the substitutes that can make real game-changing impacts when necessary. So from me and my perspective and the staff's perspective, you know, it's really healthy. But the real presence of that squad and that team sheet is felt by the opponent. So long may it continue.
And just on Walsall, I know they've not had the best of times in terms of results of late, but I'm sure, as you've already touched on, it's about not being complacent and taking each game at a time.
Obviously, you know, we have to take each game at a time. We're well versed in what the opponents do. You know, they've drawn 9 games out of 15. So they'll find themselves in a position where they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Are they getting it wrong on a regular basis? Or are they really close to big successes on the pitch? You know, I know Darryl Clark really well. And, you know, they do try to play attractive football. But again, we're concentrating on ourselves. You know, it's the 16th league game of the season. And we're really encouraged with the form that we've got going into this game. So we've got a plan, you know, and we're more focusing on about what we need to do rather than what Walsall can do.
Just finally for me, Keith, FA Cup draw has pitched you against one of your former sides. What was your reaction to that?
It's just one for the future. You know, we know where we're going to play. We know who we're playing against. I'm excited to go back. You know, it's a great football club, well supported, and you know, the squad of players they've got, they're a good championship side. You know, I wish them all the best in the future. But on that day in the FA Cup, you know, we're hoping to spring a surprise.
Thanks for your time, Keith.
No worries. Take care.
Keith, it's often said you can't win anything without a decent defence. It's 4 clean sheets now on the trot for Tranmere, and I think it's fair to say from what I've seen this season that Tuesday night's defensive performance was probably the best I've seen this season. And is that giving you now a real base to work from, knowing that you've got a defence that can be trusted, especially when you've needed to swap players in and out because of injuries?
Well, I think there's a trust there from the defensive group. There's a trust there from the team with respect to defending without the ball and defending with the ball. So we're striking a good balance, but especially the second half against Oldham, where there was a determination to defend, you know, a little bit deeper to avoid the opponents getting in between us or getting in behind us. So there was a great structure without the ball, and they defended superbly well. So, you know, you have to have discipline, you have to have concentration, you have to have good talkers, communicators. And I think we've got them at the football club, but that's in every department. So, you know, the collective clean sheets are about the whole team defending, where we start defending, how we defend, where we show the opponents in certain areas of the pitch. So we're getting it right at the minute. And I think that the players deserve the reward. And the reward is the clean sheets. The reward for the defenders, for the attackers, you know, because they're all, you know, helping one another out defensively. So it's brilliant. You know, you do build that foundation, but the best form of a defence is attack. You know, and we've got good attackers as too.
Kane Woolery has been out to come off the other night. What's the situation with him?
He rolled his ankle, so he's being assessed. We're hoping that he's going to be back on the training pitch, you know, and available for Saturday.
Corey Blackett-Taylor is, what's the situation with his hamstring? Any further on from the other night?
Yeah, we're getting close. Again, you know, talking with Corey, I think he's going to be fit and available for Saturday.
Great, okay. What about Morgan? Has he got his head round cleaning, changing nappies yet? Is he and altering his sleep pattern? Will he be available?
He'll be available. He's trained today and he was marvellous in training. So looking forward to him being back integrated into the squad.
The players bouncing into training at the moment. Obviously, there's a bit of jostling for position to get into this side as a winning team. You
want the players to be competitive, and you want the competitive nature to be supportive of the team that's playing or the starters. And I think we've got that. You know, there's a pride to the way the players work. They're happy, but you ask any player if they're not playing on a regular basis or not starting, they're not 100% happy, but they have to be ready. But they have to support, you know, the starting 11. And we've got that. You don't want that support to be negative, and you don't want players to become victims because they're not starting games. So the competition's got to be positive competition, and we've got it. So that leads for me to be in a position where we can be even more match day successful, because we've got a good support group and they're all vying for each other's shirts, but it's positive support.